Uh, Lovely. So, welcome to week 6 of the Success Beyond Scales. We are going to be talking about a very interesting and a very pertinent topic today. Many of you know me. Those of you who don't know me, Dr. Arun Dhir is my name, gastrointestinal surgeon. And of course, there are plenty of resources that are available on the website. I will not go through the details of that. A lot of these efforts and the books and materials that have been produced, the whole premise is we want to support education. I'm passionate about education because I truly believe I couldn't have been the person who I am today without education. And that's an ongoing journey. Learning is an ongoing journey, it never stops. But what we have done is we have set up a foundation about which I'm really passionate, and we support underprivileged kids, orphan kids in Bali, in India, and in Australia as well. So details are there on my personal website, but just to share with you that your work, your contributions, whatever you do, is making a difference to those lives as well. Disclaimer is, please, use your own, I should say, judgment in taking the advice that I'm providing. It's not specific advice, but it is advice which has been curated over decades of experience as a medical practitioner, as a surgeon. Take the best, leave the rest. So, and I also want to thank Monique, who's here with me. She's my co-host, and she's also our healthy habits coach. Monique has been in the practice now for a few years, and I truly appreciate her participation and contribution in these after our webinars because we both feel very passionately about it. So we've been going through the 7 steps of a healthy habits blueprint. That's what we are trying to create, because at the end of the day, we all know that if habits don't change, nothing's going to change. And we have been going through this journey one at a time, right from learning, nutrition, sleep, exercise, and today's one is stress management. Now, a lot of you would be thinking, oh, stress management, we know what Dr. Arun is going to talk about. He's going to talk about the stress response, all the medical things about it. And then, as you can see in this image, he's going to tell us about meditation. Well, friends, I am going to break that impression of what you have thought of me today. All right. I think I want to be absolutely open with you today in sharing that all of us go through difficult times in our life. But what I've realized is, and again, this is a journey of learning, okay? The views that you hold about life today will be different to the views that you hold about life tomorrow, and hopefully they become more evolved, they become more mature. You make wiser decisions, and you make decisions out of love for the other person rather than out of hatred. Now, I say this, that if we are not able to learn from our past mistakes, we will always remain stuck. I heard this, one of my mentors told me that a smart person is somebody who learns from his own mistakes, but a wise person is someone who learns from other people's mistakes. So there is a ton of wisdom in that statement. And look, we are all works in progress. So I'm not talking about meditation today as stress management. I'm going to be sharing a process that I have been using myself. I have been working on, and this is a process that has been refining over years. But I want to give you a little bit of a context. It's the Christmas season that's coming. It's time for festivities. And I'm going to put everything together in the context of health and well-being. But everybody who's on the call today, after hours, you could have been easily been sitting in front of a television and watching Netflix, but you guys are learners. You want to learn. That's why you are here. That's why because you want to grow. There is something in our spirit that is wanting us to grow. And coming back to what I was saying is the festive season is around. It's time to eat, make merry, meet your friends, and, gifts and all of that. You suddenly realize that you have been caught up in this big wave. I'm not saying don't enjoy. Please don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that there is a balance. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Because, I often refer to stress as tension. there is a tension. There has to be a level of tension for anybody if they are experiencing, say, a health issue. And I'll keep my discussions restricted to health, but you know what? The principles that I'm talking about can be applied to anything. You can apply it to health, you can apply it to wealth, relationships, money, whatever, you name it. All right. What does tension look like? Tension means that I want to be somewhere, but I'm currently stuck here. So point A, point B. And that gap between point A and point B is basically the person's desire to be from point A to point B. That creates tension in your mind. Now, whether that tension is for health, that tension is for money, that tension is for fame or recognition, whatever it may be, that creates a tension. How does it look like? It, in the context of this audience, because I want to keep it very pertinent and practical, fear of weight gain, comparing yourself before and afters, all right? And comparing yourself to others. There's envy. When you compare yourself with others, there is a sense of jealousy. And that jealousy then sometimes leads to despair because you feel, oh, that person could do it, but I can't. There is frustration around it because I went through so much pain. I went through so much effort, but I'm experiencing frustration. And what that all leads to is you lose hope. Thomas Carlyle, the father of medicine, he said that he who has hope has health. So it's really important to understand that your mental state, this tension, now this tension is required, by the way, I'm not criticizing it. But what is important to understand is that we all need this tension to get out of the bed in the morning and plan not just our day, but plan our lives. What do we want to do with our lives? Are we going to just keep living in fear, envy, despair, frustration, and loss of hope? Or do we see that there is light at the end of the tunnel and we can actually live happy, healthy, and meaningful lives? And that's the purpose of the work that I do, friends. I want to be a instrument of service to help individuals live purposeful, and meaningful lives. So I have devised this D4I method. All right, let me just call it D4I method, and I'll explain that to you in a moment. So it's 4 Ds, D, 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 and I. Okay, I'll explain that to you in a moment. But I want you to listen to the recording of this video over this Christmas break. There's going to be plenty of downtime. You will get downtime. But make sure, even if you don't get downtime, you got to make downtime. All right. So the first thing is that of desire. That tension that I just spoke about a moment ago creates a desire in your heart. There's a desire to be healthy. Everybody has got these three desires: desire to be healthy, desire to be wealthy, and desire to have beautiful, meaningful relationships. Three things. Every person wants them. There's a desire for them. But also understand that if you're not healthy, you can't enjoy the other two. You can't enjoy the wealth. You can't enjoy the relationships. You're always going to be a drain on the other person. You're always going to be looking for, some sort of a support or energy or whatever. So first thing, it starts with desire. Do you desire to be healthy? Do you desire to be able to play around with your grandkids, if that's your situation, or your own kids? Do you desire to have a meaningful connection with your partner? Whichever shape or form it looks like, you decide that. But there has to be a desire. And I know for all of you, you have a desire. That's why you are here with me after hours. So first is to recognize that it is okay to have that desire, because that tension that it is creating in your mind or in your, that I just spoke about, is actually something that is driving you to start thinking more seriously in a more focused way, which is what I'm talking about in the next one, causing you to make a decision. Are you going to make that decision to go to the gym, or will you say, yes, I have the desire, but, there is that but that comes in between, and it says, oh no, but I've always been like this, or things have never changed for me. So I'm going to decide to press the alarm clock buzzer on and snooze button off, sorry, and I'm going to go to sleep again. Whereas the other decision would be that I have this desire and I'm deciding to go to the gym today, start a new pattern today. So that is where desire leads to decision. Guys, I hope this is making sense. Can you just give me a thumbs up or just something that I hope I'm not going on a different tangent. I hope it's making sense. Beautiful. Thank you so much, whoever is there. All right, beautiful. The next thing that I talk about is the definiteness of purpose, which is clarity. Now, you have a desire, you want to get healthy, right? You have made a decision, whether that decision is to go to the gym, cook your own meals, or to have surgery. That decision is immaterial, but you have decided to go in a direction which is giving you clarity. All right. So that's the third D. This is my own personal process, guys, that I follow. And again, has been curated over years and years of hitting around. I was telling somebody today that we are like, sometimes you feel life is like you are in a tumble dryer. You're just being thrown around, one thing after the other. But you know what? I realized when you go through that tension, that pain in your life, when you know what you're getting in life is what you want becomes clear. Let me repeat it. When in life you are getting what you don't want, what you want becomes clear. So, what I'm trying to get at is that clarity is called definite purpose. I am going to work towards a healthy version of myself. That is my definite purpose. That is indeed my definite purpose. I'll share this with you because I know that if I'm not healthy, if I am like, maintaining poor health, and I'm telling everybody else, hey guys, eat healthy, do this. Well, that's such a rhetorical thing. It's a paradox, right? So you got to live that first. So that clarity gets you to take the step in the right direction. Please understand, the journey may be long. Don't worry about it. The journey may be long, but direction needs to be correct. All right. So that's the third step, which is third D, that is definiteness of purpose. And the last one is discernment. Now, the word discernment means the ability to differentiate the right from the wrong. All right. There may be things that might happen to you that may not be the right thing. Things may have happened in the past, or they may happen again. Life throws challenges at you. You are wanting to get healthy, but something happens in your personal life and it throws your whole routine out. Well, that is the time to do the right thing. All right. What do you do? If somebody hurt you in the past, all right, do you keep cursing them? Do you keep saying ill things about them or wishing ill things about them? Or do you say, you know what? It's time to let go and forgive. I'll let go. That person may have been, whichever state of mind they may have been in, but it's time for me to move on. Because if you are not able to do the right thing, for example, if you're not able to forgive someone, this is just an example, you will remain stuck with them because you are energetically connected with them. All right. So that is called discernment because please understand, friends, and I know you all agree with this, that human beings are emotional beings. If we didn't have emotions, if everything was logic, 2 plus 2 equals to 4, well, I tell you, there would be no fun in life. There is no joy. There is no anger. There is no sorrow. There's no comparison. There's no love. So life would lose its meaning. And the last and the most important I is taking inspired action. So when you're inspired to take action, and many of you have had surgery, I know this, and it has been a moment of huge testing. that, shall I have surgery? It's like, going under. There are risks involved. I could die. I know these thoughts must cross people's minds. Absolutely. But you still did it. This is called inspired action. Something within you said to you that, this is the right thing to do. This is the right step. I often say to patients, when they ask me, oh, my spouse is saying I should not have surgery, or my mother is saying you should not have surgery, or whatever. Well, I say to patients, the decision to surgery or for surgery is a big one. And that decision, for that matter, any decision is a big decision, because even the smallest of the decisions can change the trajectory of your lives. And I say this, that nobody should be able to convince you to have or have not surgery except for you. Go home, talk to your inner voice, talk to your inner wisdom. That will guide you. Because I truly believe that, when you ask, guidance is given to you. I was telling somebody today that I'm not a Christian by birth, but I have read enough about Bible, and I know that when you ask, it is given to you. When you seek, you will find. And when you knock, it shall be opened unto you. So pay some heed to these words of what I'm saying, because these are not my words. These are words that have come from that universal wisdom. And I think we all have time. We are fortunate enough to have time to take some moments out of our busy lives and busy schedules and just reflect on this. Because you know what? I truly believe this has the potential to change the direction in which your life is going. It is really critical to understand this and take it with that. Now, with that, I'm going to pause. I'm going to hand it over to Monique, my co-host, and I will also see that if you have any questions, guys, please put it in the chat box on a Q&A. I'm going to stop sharing, and I will allow Monique to share her slides. Awesome.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And that was a great lead into what I would like to talk about today as well. So can I just check everyone can see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Beautiful. All right. So I wanted to start today with this question: is health your hobby or is it a habit? And this is every day that you wake up, this is one of the questions that's really essential to ask yourself. Are you today going to spend the day as if you are on purpose? Or are you just going to let the day throw you around and you'll just be in survival mode? When you are on purpose, and that's to do with anything with health, you are able to then get into a direction where, as Dr. Arun said before, there's a trajectory to this, a life trajectory to this. So let's move on. This is our last session for the year. And I wanted to also just touch on what Dr. Arun said about going from tension. And quite often in life, we talk about these points where we felt like we had to make a change. And talking about that surgery, there must have been something that triggered that. There must have been something that, if you decided that surgery was the next step for you, it was because either you jumped on the scales and it was enough, or you were responding to what other people were saying to you, and that was enough. It was something about the voices that you were saying to yourself, what sorts of things you were talking to yourself and what you were thinking. So when we go from tension, and tension, I will say this to everyone, tension is a great thing because it tells you that you're not in the right spot. And it tells you that change is around the corner. And the type of change that you look for is something which is going to benefit you moving forward. So today, I have had a couple of clients that I spoke to, and a big shout out to any of the clients who are online. I talked to them about, what is it that you are feeling today and where do you want to be tomorrow? So going into this festive season, if you're thinking, oh no, it's another Christmas, this is where I may derail. This is where you stop right now at this point of tension and you make the decision now rather than when it's too late. So, being prepared for that Christmas season and not going into it, one of the things about wisdom is that you start to learn these things before you get to that point of tension. If you're still getting to a point of tension before you make a change, you're still in some ways letting external triggers get to you. If you can start to recognize a little bit earlier and start to make those changes, you'll see what a huge difference this will make for you. So, having a look again, what are the things with emotional eating? So, this time, especially, it's really a time where people feel loss of a family member who perhaps isn't with us this Christmas, loss of the way the dynamics of the family used to be, and now the family dynamics have changed. So, recognize your feelings, validate them, but don't validate them in a way where you are going to go for food. Validate them in a way that you can sit down and have a quiet moment or speak to somebody. Reach out to a family member or a friend just to catch up, to get back into the right headspace. Moving on, and I'm not going to spend too much time because I can see we're getting right near the end of this. The next thing I want to talk about is over this festive season, take control. There is so much that you can learn about yourself if you start to make these decisions and really stick to them. So, with that festive surrounding, where are your good habits? Are your good habits about the exercise routine that you're having? Is it around what you're eating? Are you being mindful with what you're doing, what you're saying, what you're thinking, how you're talking to yourself? And are you taking time out for meditation or mindfulness? So, taking those moments, this is what we call about taking control. If you think about somebody and anybody, I don't care what field they're in, but if they are at the top of their game and you think about what would they do, they would definitely be in control. They wouldn't be saying, oh, I'm not sure if that's the right thing I should be doing. No, they would just say, you know what, I'm just going to have a go and I'm going to do it this way. So taking control is a great way to start your 2025. Finally, what are the structures that you have got for success? So if you want to really be successful, those structures tend to come around what drives you. What are the things that you're really looking for? Again, moving back into what's the tension, what's going to create change. So, what drives you? What are your values? What's your motivation? What do you want to achieve? Have a think about this now before we get into the height of the silly season, so that when you get into the middle of it all, you're still cool, calm, collected. You're just leaning on your inner wisdom rather than externally getting swept up in behaviors and thoughts and patterns that you didn't want to do. So that's my two bob.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Monique. And that has always been, your advice and your sort of message has been very practical and to the point. And I think it's really pertinent because we can actually plan. I know the festivities are all around food and celebration and connecting with family, but food can be a part of it rather than the whole focus of it. And I think that's
Absolutely.
where sometimes the we get swept away that, if we don't attach the importance to the food that a lot of cultures do, we are not going to show love and respect to the other people. So we
Yeah.
relate food to emotion.
Yeah, we do. We do. And sometimes, when we have gone through a struggle with eating and with weight loss, that we really actually just need to shift where our focus is. And so, you know what? It's not around that. It's about those relationships. And I speak to my clients as well and just say, you know what? Just to go in when somebody keeps saying, here, eat this, eat this, eat this, eat this. And you just say to them, you know what? I'm here because I want to be here with you. Give them a great big hug and just diffuse this food cycle that keeps coming in front of you. There are strategies for everything in life.
Correct. Yeah, it's just a matter of finding it, right?
Absolutely.
Lovely.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, look, we are on the dot, 7:30. I want
Yes,
to wish everybody a safe, happy, and a Merry Christmas and a very happy New Year. It's been a delight and an honor serving all of you. And please give us some feedback. Please tell us what you like, what you would like to see in the new year's Success Beyond Scales, topics, because we are always looking. Just email us, put it in the Facebook group, whichever way. This is a private community, and this is a commitment that we have made, that we are both, myself and Monique, have made, that we are going to continue to do this for as long as we can, wherever we are. We will just not do it in January, because in full disclosure, January is downtime for us. So January will be quiet time, but February onwards, first Tuesday in February, we're going to be back on board. So until then, please take care, stay safe. And once again, thank you, Monique, for being a co-host on this.
No worries. Just before you go, there was a question about how do we catch up on this if we want to watch it again. There will be a link in the Facebook group from Body Genesis, so that will go up, and it'll more than likely be up tonight. So just keep an eye out for that. And wanted to say, thank you. Merry Christmas, everyone. It's been a pleasure to just be with you each month in this space. I really appreciate it. It's a chance just to connect with the community as well.
All the best. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye
Bye,
bye.
everyone. Merry Christmas.